Now, I'm about to tell you something that you're probably not going to believe, but I just want you to hang in there with me, okay? Because this is really important stuff we're talking about here. Now, here it is. You should not have a sex talk with your teenager. Now, hold on, don't laugh at me. I'm serious. I mean, this is expert parenting advice here. You should not have a sex talk with your teenager. Don't do it. It's a waste of your time. You see, you don't want to just have a sex talk with your teenager. You want to have an ongoing conversation about this subject. It's a crucial topic. And I promise you, your student is hearing about this topic from others, but they have to hear it from you if they have any hope of being healthy in this area. Now, we know this is an awkward and it's also a stressful conversation for you. So we want to help you make the most of this very important time by giving you a family experience called the Purity Weekend. The truth is, as parents, we can avoid teaching our teenager a healthy view of sex because it feels like there's a bit of a death to our sweet little innocent child when we start to talk about this. But you'll eventually grieve even more if you avoid this topic, and there's little in life that can cause more pain to your teenager than an improper view of sex. So the Purity Weekend is a family experience that creates an opportunity to set your teenager up to approach this subject with a healthy view. Now, we'll begin to do this by providing Kickstarters that will, number one, give you tips on approaching this important conversation. Number two, they'll walk you through God's view of sexuality. And number three, they'll give you ideas for striving for God's best in our relationship. This family experience will be a discussion of sex and purity that will take place during a fun weekend trip or an event that you will plan with your student. This doesn't take away from how serious and important this discussion is, but a trip or fun event will help ease some of the tension that will go along with this kind of awkward conversation. The first step is to plan your trip. Now, we recommend that this event be with one parent and one teenager. Many families have made this with a father and son type deal or a mother and daughter type event. We understand that it may not always be possible to do it that way, but it may not be best for your family to do it that way. So plan whatever works for your family. Make sure it's something you can afford. Make sure it's fun and memorable. Do this at a place that it's private and comfortable for both you and your student. Like if you try to do it in a crowded restaurant, probably not a good idea. But sometime at the end of the weekend, you want to give your teenager a symbol that really just more than anything helps them remember this conversation. It's not just like you're giving them a ring and make them promise to never do anything. You're just really wanting them to remember this time that you're giving them. We've provided downloadable resources to help you navigate through this weekend. We know that even the most prepared parents can be thrown a curveball now and then by their teenagers, and because of that, we've created a list of tough questions that teenagers sometimes ask about sex and given some biblically based answers so that you're not so caught off guard. In the Parent Guide, you'll find all the steps to make this a meaningful weekend with your teenager. This event and your openness to talk and pray with your student will help them see the importance you're placing on this discussion of purity. The reality is, this discussion is incredibly important because if you can paint for them a picture of what it looks like to do sex God's way, you're giving them a gift that helps them understand in this world that they live in that God's not crazy. He created sex, and if they listen to Him, He's worthy of their trust.